And we are joined tonight in the Music Spotlight on 92.5 WLSD, Stephen Murray. Stephen, thank you for coming into the studio tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
And technically, it is Wednesday, October 1st.
Let's be technical.
Yes. And you've got some very exciting news. You have a brand new single that is been released today. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So what you just heard at the beginning of the show is my last and latest single called ODAAT, which is an acronym for One Day at a Time. And yeah, it's fresh off the presses on Wednesday, October 1st.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw that you have a live lyric video going live tomorrow on YouTube at 9 a.m.?
9 a.m. on YouTube, October 2nd. Yeah, man.
And I do like the progression that I've seen because you were on the show, about a year and a half ago or so, maybe last summer?
Yeah.
And I've constantly kept your last album in my CD player, and it's been a good source of not only catchy tunes, but there's heartfelt lyrics there, and you can tell that you have passion for the lyrics and the music that you're putting out. So that's much appreciated.
Thank you.
And you had a gig. What was it? This past Saturday or last Saturday?
It was a couple Saturdays ago. Yeah,
Recovery Fest.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that? How did you get involved in that? Because that's a really cool thing, and I knew that you had done. Is this the third year in the row that you've done it?
So I've been a part of it for 3 years. This is the second year that I was the MC.
Okay.
Yeah, Recovery Fest has been going on. This was the 15th annual festival. Shirley Smith of Big Stone Gap, who owns The Edge, she's also an addictions counselor. She started it up. And yeah, I lived in Big Stone for a couple of years. I'm sober. I've been sober since May 25th, 2019.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And when I moved to Big Stone, I was a couple of years sober already, and I knew I was looking for some way to be of service in that way. So, our paths crossed, and she asked if I would MC it a couple of years ago, and I said I'd love to. So, yeah, I think that's where you saw me, and part of the emceeing duties is I get to share my story of recovery and also play a few songs.
Right. So now, I'd heard a little bit of your recovery story before, but not as in depth as you mentioned a few weeks back.
Yeah.
How does it feel to let those reasons and feelings out to an audience? Because you're inspiring, you're giving your story. I've had recently, my girlfriend, she's 31 days sober today. And today I'm 22 days, and so it's very, I think it's very beneficial and very, it's just heart-wrenching that you go out there and you kind of reveal yourself being exposed like that.
Yeah.
And is that difficult to do, or is it cathartic for you? Like, how do you feel about letting yourself out there, being pretty much naked there up there, your story for all to see, so to speak?
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it is, there's nerves attached to it because I'm a human being, and it's a little strange. It's a strange concept, but it's actually, if you get behind, like, the motivation behind it is the phrase, I can't keep it unless I give it away.
Right, yeah. So
in order for me to be of service to other people who are struggling with addiction and might need some help, sharing my story, if I can help anyone, just one person, start to, a light bulb go off, or they heard something in my message that resonates with them, then that's
maybe
great.
They can help piece their life back together.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. So that really takes a lot of the nerves away, because it's really just, all about trying to help the next person.
And I think it also helps just to know that, you hear it so much that you're not alone, but still people in those kind of situations, dealing with the depression, dealing with the addiction, no matter what it may be, they still feel alone or ashamed a lot of those times.
Sure, yeah. We live in a society that blames the addict and, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, kind of figure it out on your own. And, and so it's no wonder that a lot of people do feel alone.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part about me hitting rock bottom is and getting into recovery was realizing that there's a vast amount of people that are just as crazy as I am.
Right.
And they seemingly have a great life.
Right.
Like, how did they get there?
How do they turn it around?
Yeah, I'm feeling miserable. This person is happy, like, and they're sober. Like, how do I get? I want that.
Now, when you look back on those dark times that you've had in the past, are you still amazed by how far you've come, or is I know a lot of people that I've heard talk. They say some they've been able to let go and not ever really think about going back to that, but some have said it's a constant battle every single day. How are you on that way?
Well, you might have accidentally stumbled upon the best segue ever.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think the past is important. Like, I don't close the door on it. I don't shun it. I'm not ashamed by it.
Right.
So I certainly struggled with it. Yeah, like at the first couple of years of sobriety, I was kind of aghast at how could I have done what I did. Like putting my life at risk, putting other people's lives at risk, like being a pretty obnoxious person,
Right.
causing a lot of hurt and pain and harm. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, I did struggle with that. And as you keep going, as I kept going, I realized that, yesterday is yesterday. I can't do anything about tomorrow.
Right.
So what am I doing today? And which really brings the phrase, it is only that I'm sober one day at a time.
Yes.
Yeah, I collectively have 6 years and a couple months of sobriety, and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Right. So I have today.
Right.
So that idea, one day at a time, really helps me in my alcoholic and addict mind. I'm really able to make things very grandiose or make things incredibly not important.
Right.
And so if I can go around puffing my chest about 6 years and some change of sobriety, I'm setting myself up for failure.
Right.
I really just need to focus on today.
Right. Yeah. So one day at a time. This was a song. Now, is this a recent song that you wrote, or did you have this one for a while and just waiting to release it?
Yeah. So I wrote this one in the latter part of COVID. When I got sober, hit rock bottom, I kind of took a hiatus from music. I was just like, I need to figure out who I am. Like, what am I doing here? What's my identity? And so, yeah, for about a couple of years, I didn't really.
For a couple of years, you stepped away from music.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And COVID was kind of the backdrop of that. Right. Like, it was kind of a way for me to, a cloak to kind of hide behind, and just figure things out. And at the same time, I couldn't. I had a laptop, I had GarageBand,
Right.
I had a guitar.
Yeah.
So it was like just kind of constantly staring back at me. And so, yeah, ODAAT is a product of the kind of latter part of COVID, and I was sober, and yeah, it really sparked from a phone call. I was having a recovery phone call I was having with a brother in recovery.
Okay.
So it kind of inspired that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I've had a film come out in I'll say a movie. It wasn't really a film. Virginia Running came out in like 2012. I had very high hopes, expectations for that, and it didn't achieve what I considered success at the time, which led me, in addition to other things, down a addictive path. And you were talking about kind of, putting music on the back burner for a while. I sold all my film equipment, my laptop, everything that it was to do with, dealing with film, I got rid of. And I was really miserable for those couple of years.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, honestly, until the last, 2-3 years, how many people my addiction hurt that didn't even know that I had an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really hard for me to grapple with, the self-forgiveness,
yeah,
and the shame. And how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, so mine was I really relate to what you're saying. Yeah, I had to go to therapy, man. Like, I really did. I had therapy. I still go to therapy. So yeah, I mean, so it's the journey of yeah, self-forgiveness, your mind and ego do this thing to you where you're like, I can forgive everyone else, I can do anything for anyone, I'm a people pleaser, I'm all these things, and with that comes you're constantly putting yourself last.
Yes.
And really, in a way, what helped me understand that is that that's a very egocentric, self-centered way of living.
Yes.
Even though it seems contradictory, you're wanting to please others, you're wanting to help others, but if you're not putting your oxygen mask on first, then what good are you to anybody, right? So, yeah, self-forgiveness was really tough. It did not come easy, and it was a combination of really getting in touch with my journey of the authentic self. Like, I, wasn't born drinking
Right.
or using drugs.
Right.
I was a product of my environment, and I did have loving parents. They were they were they did the best they could with what they had, and it was a very dysfunctional family.
Right.
It wasn't like a home filled with drugs and alcohol, but there was a lot of what people might understand me saying the ism, like this dysfunction where there wasn't communication, there was only silence, there wasn't freedom of thought.
Right.
There was you were taught to behave a certain specific way,
Right.
and religion was involved, and so it was a very structured, toxic environment for me to grow up in. So through therapy and recovery and staying sober, I was able to get in touch with the inner child, right? That part of me that when I started learning to lie, this is a good example. I was very young, but probably 8, 9, and I had a reward center, a dopamine reward center of like lying and getting out, like getting away with it.
Yeah.
I didn't face a lot of consequences because I was really good at lying. So
I can relate.
yeah,
Yeah, I can relate to what you're saying.
right. So is this just this kind of constant reward situation where around that time I started separating from my authentic self because my environment was unsafe, and I don't mean to be dramatic, like everyone's version of unsafe is different.
Right.
But for me as a sensitive child, my family and home environment was not safe.
Right.
So I learned how to alter my behavior to get what I needed and wanted instead of just being an authentic version of myself. And
Right.
So when I got in touch with that part of myself, I was like, oh, I can totally forgive
Yeah.
of course I made a series of really awful decisions my entire life.
Yes.
And of course that's going to end up hurting a lot of people. And I didn't know how to do it any other way. So now that I'm self-aware, I can forgive myself.
Right. And
Yeah.
you know not what to do because you've looking back and you've learned from those.
Yeah, and really,
Times.
yeah, and what I know now is that if I pick up a drink, not only will I fall back into a dark way of living, I'll probably do far worse,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the stakes are much higher now because I got a kid and,
Yeah.
I'm married
so,
and,
so many things on the table now
right.
that could be just totally ruined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't now did you started drinking earlier in life? Like at a young age?
Yeah. So I started drinking when I was 12, started
Okay.
smoking and drinking when I was 12, and that was an outcome of being, peer raised. I moved around a lot. Born and raised in Canada, Nova Scotia, Canada, and then because my dad's job just moved around a lot.
Yeah.
And when I was in California, Southern California, I was 12, and
Which part of California?
Southern, so it's called La Mirada or Whittier.
Okay.
But
'Cause I was in Long Beach for a little while.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Long Beach was like an hour drive from where I was.
Okay.
We went to Long Beach a lot,
Okay.
and Huntington Beach.
Yeah, I was out there in the summer of 2015. Oddly enough, I had taken my ex-wife. She lived in Baltimore, outside of Baltimore.
Yeah.
And so when we never really got divorced. We more got it annulled. So after that, we remained friends, and she was like, "Hey, I'm moving to California. Would you take me out there?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take you out there." So she had arranged for her dad to fund the trip going.
Yeah.
So it was like, once we got to like Route 66, we just kind of drove where we wanted to,
Nice.
and then moved her out there, and then I drove back. Now on the way back, I had to fund it myself.
Okay.
So I do regret this, but I did go from Long Beach to Albuquerque to Little Rock here,
Right.
and I did sleep.
No funny business.
No, and I did divert from the now doing it. I would have diverted, but I don't know. I'm a little odd when I'm just alone driving as opposed with others.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was a fun time, and I had a tiny little Mini Cooper car. That was a fun car. So Canada. So how did you end up in you live in Big Stone now?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went over kind of briefly. Yeah, born and raised in Canada. Then my dad's jobs ended us in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I went to college in Greensboro, and then I moved to Asheville with my band. Started the band in Greensboro, and then we moved up to Asheville. And
how did you like living in Asheville? I've never actually lived there, but I've went there many times throughout the years.
It's just straight down the road.
Yeah,
it's
concerts, and they always have a lot of cool stuff going on there.
Yeah. I was there at the kind of right before the incredible influx of out of towners started moving in. Okay. So I had a couple years of experiencing like small town Asheville, kind of the excitement of it getting bigger.
Yeah.
And I left right when they started like tearing down like low income housing and putting in high rises, and it was depressing.
Yeah.
So I left right when it started. Like a lot of people who still live there, they've had to move out to the outer, like Waynesville or Hendersonville or like,
just due to all the rehoming and stuff they're doing.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just a lot of rich people just kind of buying property,
taking over. I haven't actually. I mean, I went to the airport there back in the spring, but I haven't actually went there to a show or anything in a minute.
No,
a little while. So, what is the plan now? Are you just releasing singles right now?
Yeah. So I got
because I know that you were. Soul Step Records released a couple weeks, maybe a month ago. You were part of the Footprint series.
Right. Yeah. So Soul Step Records is an incredible independent record company out of Nashville. It's a one man show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. His name's Melvin, and he really is like when it comes down to making the music and the artists like center stage and really helping the artists and supporting the artists. He's got it, know. And so he is officially a vinyl record company.
I saw where you had some singles released on vinyl where you did the opening. That was really cool.
Yeah, super cool. So I'm his first initial actual from the ground up artist, actually being released through the label.
Okay.
So what he does is he works with other artists who have their own management and production teams and everything, but they want to put out a vinyl. Right. So he'll work with them that way, and he puts out a vinyl for them. But I'm his first artist.
Now, how did you kind of get hooked up with him?
Well, to be honest, he is my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I've put out a lot of music, and he handpicked a few songs that he really did like. So it wasn't all just because it's in the family.
Right. Well, I was looking at you've got a couple. How many albums do you have? You got was this your first release, Time Capsule?
Right. Yeah. So that was my last album. I wrote that album my first year of sobriety. Okay. And I released it, I recorded it with an incredible dude named Dan Sheeran in Asheville. And this is when I was still living in Asheville. And mastered by Drop a Sun Studios out of Asheville. And yeah, that was kind of my just goodbye to music. Okay. It was like I needed to get all this out. Like a lot of those songs feel like you're reading from my journal because
So
it's
this
just
is right before you're stepping away. This was released. You step away for a few years.
yeah.
And then when do you actually reemerge? You reemerge solo with a band because you have another band also now, right?
No, I'm not active. Well, I mean, I have a couple friends that we play in a group called Dos Novas, but it's not. We're not
Just
like an official
okay.
group.
So just ever when a gig pops up, hey guys, you want to play this?
Yeah,
this
are you
gig?
free this weekend?
Okay.
Kind of thing. No, yeah. So I'm just playing solo right now. I did do a Kickstarter crowd fundraising for an album that I recorded at Maggard Studios.
Right.
And yeah, I got a few CDs printed of that, but that was the impetus to get into Soul Step. So he heard those songs and was like, okay,
Okay.
I'm thinking some things here. I'm thinking maybe I want to have you as my first like artist.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had done a little bit of research on Soul Step, and I wanted to ask you about that. Now, being a singer-songwriter, I've always wanted to be in a band, but it's basically always been myself and another writing partner that we always just play some songs now and again. Do you prefer or what's the different dynamics in being the singer-songwriter as opposed being the lead singer in a band?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much of the singer-songwriter approach, right? So I was always in a band, singing in a band or lead singing in a band, and co-writing. I always, or 90% of the time, wrote my own lyrics. So like any song you're hearing me sing, I wrote those lyrics. But yeah, so this is my first experience with it, and yeah, I'm just excited to see what the future holds because for me, I've always resonated as a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
It's just that there was always a killer band that I was playing the songs with.
Yeah.
So with it just being me and acoustic guitar, it's another avenue, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of do things like this, like share a little bit more about who I am, talk about the song that I'm performing. But really, songwriting is such a craft. It is such to do it by yourself and perform it by yourself. What I'm experiencing right now is there really is there's the opportunity for a deeper connection with the audience, and I'm trying to hone in on that a little bit more and figure out what that feels like and looks like.
Now, do you like the does it feel more safe when you're up there with a band as opposed to just yourself and a guitar?
Yeah, safe is a fine word for that. Yeah, the thing about playing in a band is, it feels like there's a room for so much more dynamics, right? Like so the song has an arc not only lyrically and melodically, but symphonically as a band. There's a crescendo, there's a decrescendo, there's like a breakdown part, and then it either ends on a really high note or ends abruptly, and there's like but there's energy, right? There's lots of energy going on in a live performance, lots of things to bounce things off of, and so being by yourself, the experience is like, man, I hope my lyrics are like meaning something to somebody. Because I can only like pick my finger, the strings as loud as this, and get as quiet as this, so.
Yeah, I'd always wondered about that. I'd only played my friend Jake and we would play coffee houses, coffee shops a lot around the Arlington, Fairfax, Northern Virginia. We played a few times around Lexington. But we played one show at the Grog and Tankard nightclub. It was like a bar, not really a nightclub, a bar. Wednesday at 10:30 p.m., which was like the deadest day of the week. But
Sounds hot.
We had a gig.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we have a gig. So, and we actually had picked up a drummer and a bass guitarist. We weren't like a band, but they had practiced a few times with us. And I think we played 7 or 8 songs that night. There were 4 people in the audience. It was so thrilling.
Yeah,
So
yeah, man.
thrilling.
I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was very memorable. And I think actually now that I think about it, there were only 2 people because my friend Talitha went, and then there was the bartender.
Right.
And then there were 2 other. There was a drunk girl and a guy playing pool. So I think there
Yeah.
were 4. Four
Oh,
total.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, how many singles do you have? Another single lined up? Like, how many singles do you have ready to go?
Yeah. So this started in July.
Right.
This is the 3rd single
Okay.
of 4.
Okay.
So I got another one in November. And yeah, the first single came out in July. Then August. Then the next one was in August, and then this one now.
And then now. That's so cool. So
Yeah.
you've got Good Times coming up October 4th. And that seems to be a place that's always had good music down there. I like their food. I like the atmosphere down there.
Yeah.
And it seems like Big Stone is really growing as far as like having places for artists to play.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way. I've only played at Good Times.
Okay.
They're incredibly supportive of the artist. They pay the artist really well. They have a great sound system.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's always a built-in crowd because their food is so good.
Yes, I agree.
You know, so it just depends if there's a home football game or not,
Right.
or like whatever, right? But
yeah, that depends a lot. See, our listenership goes up because the game airs right before our show.
oh, nice.
So a lot of times on the way home, people tune into the show
Yeah,
because they're listening to the football game. So
Right.
our ratings go up a little bit.
that's funny.
So that's always cool. So you've got the lyric video. Are you going to be doing lyric videos for all your releases like this?
Yeah, so the other 2 have lyric videos as well. You can
Right.
find them on Soul Step Records YouTube channel.
Okay.
The website as well. His
I'll
website.
I'll put a link on there as well.
Great.
And I was going to ask you about, do you have any favorite, other than like Good Times, any other venues or places that you played that really stand out in your mind? You're like, I would really like to get back to this place and get to play again.
Sure. There is this. It's called the Muddy Creek Cafe, and it's in Winston-Salem, so it's pretty far away. But my old band played there a couple times, and the vibe is really good.
Yeah.
It's just a listening room, and you know that's really what I'm honing. What I'm noticing as a singer-songwriter too, is when you're in a band, you can play the bar because you want people to have a good time.
Yeah.
You can play a bigger venue that's meant for louder bands. So you know, I do really want to get out there and play music and play for people, and I want to do it in environments where it's leaning towards like, hey, let's all listen to what this person's
So
doing.
they can resonate really with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've grown up with a lot of singer-songwriters. Like Rufus Wainwright. You've got Elliott Smith, Chic, so many good ones. And somebody had said that you brought them to mind to another artist the other day, and I listened to the artist. Can't think of his name right away, but he was a good artist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was.
I can't think it right off, but
I can look it up. Yeah, I hadn't heard him either, and I need to look into that. But
are you listening to anybody currently?
Currently, the last album I was just rocking to out last night was My Morning Jackets Is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a pretty eclectic mix of music right now. It's a lot of kids music.
Yeah.
Because I got a 2-year-old.
Right.
Snoop Dogg puts out great kids music.
Does he really?
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
I had no idea.
Yeah, oh yeah. And let's see. I mean, I'm a sucker for some Beatles right now, always. And but yeah, man. I mean, My Morning Jackets is what's on my listening playlist right now.
I put a playlist out every Monday or every Tuesday. Tunes for Tuesday. Used to be Music List Monday, but I changed it to Movie List Monday. And music. Is there a day that goes by in your life where you don't listen to music?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a very busy brain,
Yeah.
and it's funny, man. Like, I love music so much, but there's a lot of music going on in my head.
Yeah.
There really is.
Yeah.
A
A
lot
brain
of
that never stops.
yeah, just a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, just a lot of. So if it's not a song that I'm obsessed with or thinking of because it's so good, then it's something going on that I'm writing or something that it will never leave my mouth, but is just going on in my head. And, I really am trying to embrace more of a quiet state of mind right now. So yeah, there's days, there's times where I'm just kind of like, I need to quiet
Yeah.
it
Do
down.
you meditate or anything?
Yeah, I try. I mean, my and people who have kids, they'll know what I'm talking about. But there was a lifestyle I had
Right.
previous to a 2-year-old. So I have brief moments of meditation now.
Yes.
Getting back to where I was, which was long stretches of meditation daily.
Might be a bit of a challenge.
It will, it might be a few years.
Well, my friend Jake, he had just him and his wife, I think last May had their first kid. So
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I talk to him, typically he'll bring, I'll ask, how's it going, and he'll be like, gives me similar type,
Yeah.
anecdotes like that. But yeah, now what's something surprising that you were talking about? Snoop Dogg has these good kid songs.
Oh yeah, man. He's got like this affirmation song. Today is a beautiful day. I'm the best version of myself. I love myself. Yeah, man. Doggyland. Yeah.
Okay.
The affirmation song is so good, and
Wow.
he does like Wheels on the Bus.
I had no idea.
Yeah, dude. Killer.
Let's check this out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Affirmations are positive statements that help us to challenge and overcome when you're not feeling good and have negative thoughts. So repeat after me. Come on, everyone. There is no one better to be than myself.
There's no one better to be than
You've heard
myself.
this one
Today is
before.
going to be an amazing day.
This is so cool. I had no idea.
Hell yeah.
Did you ever see when Snoop Dogg was on his family was on Family Feud?
No.
Check that out sometime.
I will.
Yeah. Wow, Snoop Dogg, he just went up a little bit in my book. I had no idea that he was doing this positive 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Snoop Dogg still is able to surprise.
Yeah.
Now, were you a Snoop Dogg fan growing up?
So when I lived in Southern California, it was a very eclectic mix of music. I was listening to NoFX. I was listening to the Hippos, a ska band, and then I was listening to like Wu-Tang.
Okay. Okay.
It was a really strange time.
Yeah.
Because I moved to a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, and the school I went to, I was definitely the minority.
Okay.
And so yeah, man, like I had my, grew up in the hills of Nova Scotia, listening to classical music and Christian music, and then
Now on the flip side.
Like I wanted to buy the album Gangsters Make the World Go Round, and my mom was horrified.
Well, see, it's funny that you mentioned that. Now, I never was I don't want to say that I wasn't a fan of rap, because that's not the correct. I never was exposed to it a lot as a child.
Sure.
So some of the rap music that I liked early on, I did have DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince cassette tapes.
Fantastic.
And then those were hard to find at the time, because I couldn't find them around this region. It was not until I moved away and a little bit older that I found them. Because when I was younger, we had moved to Washington State near Seattle on a little island called Oak Harbor, and I lived there for a couple of years. So that opened me up to a lot of discovering things. But it was just I lost my train of thought there.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg. So one time, and you saying it, it kind of horrified your mother. One time, someone in school, I was probably 15 or 16. Now, Tupac had already passed at this point, but he had released a few albums, after the fact. And someone at school let me borrow one of the CDs. Well, the cover art was not to the liking of my mother.
Of course.
Because Tupac was hanging on something. And my mother said, and she really wasn't strict normally, but she found the CD because I had it hidden. And she said, I don't want you to bring this back in the house again. So I didn't.
Right.
And back then, YouTube and such wasn't around, so the only way I was really exposed to Tupac or things like that was through sneaking on MTV sometimes.
Sure.
But yeah, I had a very eclectic group, music as well. But, it wasn't really Wu-Tang, but it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Well, Stephen, it's been fun.
Yeah,
you have anything you want to say that we didn't touch upon tonight?
Yeah, I'll just do like shameless plugs. You can find me on Facebook with Stephen Murray Music.
Yep.
Instagram is Stephen Murray Music _BSG. I'm on TikTok as Stephen Murray Music. And yeah, just like these 3 singles, you can stream them anywhere. Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, like you can find them anywhere.
Okay.
And it's a just listening to it. I don't make anything off of streaming, and we live in such a crazy, weird time that with monetization and CEOs of music companies being billionaires and artists making nothing, and at the same time, I just want people to listen to my music.
Yeah.
So please stream it, please listen to it, share it.
Are you still at 404?
Yeah, man, come see me at 404.
Drive down to 404. I saw, some people on maybe your last single were driving by the drive-through with your single playing.
Yeah, do that, please. Yeah, 404 Cafe and Creamery. I'm there Monday through Friday every week. I'm your morning shift barista.
Yeah, and you often have a really cool hat.
Oh, thank you.
You often do.
Yeah, I came hatless tonight.
I noticed that. I had one in the vehicle, and I was like, I wonder if Stephen would be impressed by this hat. But I didn't wear it. So please check out all his social medias. I will repost the lyric video tomorrow to the single ODAAT. Now, are you getting is there going to be a CD a vinyl single like before?
I cannot tell you.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. But I did like the unwrapping of it. I love things like that.
Yeah.
And if it ever seems that I'm stalking your page, often I like something and I'm like, you just posted like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you posted that? So sometimes I try to wait, but it just seems to be. But yeah, Stephen Murray Music on all the social medias. His latest single, ODAAT, drops on YouTube tomorrow. And go check out Soul Step Records on YouTube as well. Stephen, thank you.
Thank you.
And catch us next week on 92.5. Tune in tomorrow night. Steve's House of Rock will be on at 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. on 92.5 WLSD The Vault.